Okay. They're not going to let you chat. I've tried it, and the only people that are on there just some dude from Israel. Like, they're not going to let you chat on there because clearly they're still monitoring you, and you're all like, not all of you, but there's still people out there that are wickedly sick. It's not even about what I want, right? Because they listen, they see all the people online, and they just go, there is no point whatsoever for her to even see this. None point of it. Okay, so anyways, it's clearly just insanity. And then if anybody that I know actually tried to communicate with me, right, those people would be attacking them. So anyways, it's just, it's so insane, right? It is. It's like he has to keep reminding me, and it's not even the whole 11 years. It's just he has to keep reminding me just stuff that's happened recently, and you go, oh yeah, that's right. Just it is. It's just so if you're doing that, right? I'm doing that too. Just because each year you sort of like adjust, I guess, to whatever, and it, maybe even our minds. It's not that we want the world, but our minds, you just don't want these people to be as insane as they are. You just don't want that, but it's a process of they're dying. I explained it as best as I could that I understood. He was explaining it to me why their brains are dying in that fashion because they can still drive. And some of them are actually doing service to their species and my species. Okay, not everyone that is having their brain melted is mean and aggressive. It's just they don't want to stay here. They don't want to be human beings. A lot of them, I think, except that the younger people. And it's like I said, it's sort of unfortunate that a lot of their parents are kind of like still in a denial and they're making it uncomfortable. And it's sad for them because their brain is different or something. Um, they're unable to accept the peace that God is giving everybody, and uh, like it may have something to do with just the whole way that the species operates, like they're lesser primates, which isn't an insult. It's just sort of like the way it goes in that species, where there is always these tiers. There's always a caste system. That's just how it works. Um, and they like it because they don't want the responsibility. There's much more responsibility for the higher members. So, and then some of it is they're not allowed. I'm gathering that they're actually not allowed to do things. They're not allowed to move around and stuff, and that's supposed to be a better position in the in the, in the group. So some of these young people are just like, no, we'll just be rolling around on each other. We don't get to mate. We don't get to mate and have babies and be with the dominant and be the favorite and all that stuff. And they don't want that. They don't have to raise children and take care of them and stuff and deal with the dominant and all of that. So, anyways, I got about, according to the internet, I've got about another hour before I can roll this thing up a little bit. Well, this is probably might be a little bit worse than the other room I was in at the other house in terms of the heat. Um, it has two windows, so we'll see. It's just at the other house, the sun wasn't in the morning. Okay, yeah, that's right. Because I would put curtains. That's right in the other room in the afternoon. Right, so that's sort of like this. Um, and I was on the whole second floor, so I could keep the doors open and stuff. So I think it's going to be worse. The other thing too is he will not stop closing those windows up in the attic. Um, it's boiling up there. Absolutely boiling. How could anybody have taken a room up there? You know, it's like it's a good thing I didn't take that room. Just because to me it's all made up, but I don't know, just a constant excuse about an electric bill. So even if someone was going to donate you a fan or an air conditioner, he would say you can't run it because of the electric bill. So I don't know if someone's going to take care of that. I mean, I don't usually use an air conditioner, but if someone gave me a fan, I'd want to use a fan. Am I going to be told I can't use a fan? Yeah, eventually somebody would have to go look, dude. Right. It's just you're getting a little bit out of control with this nonsense about the electric bill. I think that was part of their fight this morning because she keeps telling them that. I don't want to get into it. Like I said, it's just part of a species where there's always a made up interaction fight. I don't want anything to do with it at all. But anyways, eventually you need to open those windows up there and let some of that heat out of that attic. Because I did it one day and then it felt nice up there. Right. So I would think tomorrow morning he's got to be going up there and closing them. Because when it rains, I go up there to make sure that they're closed, and they're closed again. Right. So he's going up there and closing those windows after I open them. For God knows what reason he's doing that. Okay. So anyways, clearly he wouldn't be able to do that if that was my room. Right. So anyways, yeah, they did that at the other house. She would want to do things and he would tell her she couldn't afford it. Right. That's why you just go, I'm staying out of it. I don't even want, nope. It's like everything else, just trying to drag me into something. So he doesn't really say anything to me. I should probably just mind my own business. But you just go, well, what if someone donated me a fan? Can I run a fan in here? Okay. Because I sure as hell hope that there's actually an electric bill and you're not making that up, because eventually someone's going to intervene if you are. That's all. Right, because now you're getting too out of control sick. Candy did that shit at the other house. That's why. If there is an electric bill, then whatever. I mean, I don't even. I have like one light I turn on at night, and I have this. I don't have a TV. I don't have a fan. I don't have all sorts of lights. Nothing. So, right, other than once a week laundry, nothing could even be said to me about an electric bill. So, anyways, um, I lived in a house, so I know what it's usually your heating and your air conditioning is the number one thing. Right. Because someone would go, do you still have that trailer plugged in? Is the air conditioner running on that thing right now? Okay. Anyways. Yeah, it's just when you're in a house and you're yelling things at another person, like just leave me out of it if you could talk in a regular tone. Anyways, it's been kind of nice that Cindy hasn't been over. Um, well, that was an issue at the other house too. She was doing it there too. Um, you have to decide if you want to visit your mother or you're making up an excuse to try to get to me, because it really seems clear that you need to stay away from me. And that's the end of it. I don't want to keep talking about her. Just the whole entire thing. She already tried all that crap about, can you call Cindy? And that's why she doesn't have diapers, because Cindy brings them. And all of that is just completely insane. That is completely, to me, that is not human behavior whatsoever. It's just, you can't just like watch a TV and occupy yourself. I don't even have a TV. I've been doing this for 11 years. Anyways, out there, just focusing more on me. Um, when I was in my house for 17 years with my kids. I had a TV, and not the whole 17 years did I have a computer, but yeah, I guess I don't get bored like that. Okay, so what I started out talking about um, just the profound criminal insanity, um, about what I just experienced in Quincy. Now that it's been 2 months, just about, since I got back from there. Um, like, they're actual questions. Like, I'm really kind of trying to get back to what I was doing at the hotel with the UMass Boston and the atheism. Okay, because for Doodle Bobs, there's not really too much more we can be doing. Okay, so I like the stories about the radicalization because, okay, so what's going on? Because it helps with things like I was just discussing. They already did it once. I don't know if that's even still in effect and people are trying to act like it's not. That was my question. Because he indicated to me years and years ago that that's what they would do. Like, they're literally trying to go back to the Middle Ages. And it's like, your brain is completely sick. Right? You're not doing anything that we don't know that you're doing. God tells us. Almighty God tells us. So this business about trickery and stuff, it's just, you're not tricking anyone. It's just you're aggressive and violent and dangerous, and you attack us. So we just say nothing or just go, okay, whatever. Because there was a ban on utility shutoffs and stuff. I wouldn't even be understanding how anyone would still have a utility bill. So that would have to be explained to me. I mentioned that to that man named Scott that said he was a police officer in Quincy. And he goes, I don't know anything about that. You don't know anything about that? Okay, so that wasn't real. That wasn't happening. Okay. He's a nice enough guy. That's what I said. But you go, okay, so are you telling me that there were articles on the news that aren't true that I was reading? That's the question. Then that's a dialogue as to your reality and my reality. When I'm there in person, right, and you're telling me that you don't know anything about that, and you've been there for a year and you're a Quincy police officer. Okay, because on my computer, it had to have been on the news, because how would I ever get that in my head? I wouldn't just Google it, no. So I was told that there was a ban on evictions. You knew about that one. He knew about that one. That's what's interesting about it too, because he goes, oh, and then the ban was lifted. So he knew about that one, but he didn't know anything about people don't have any bills. He didn't know that. Okay. That's the type of thing where you go, okay, well, maybe, right, what's going on there? Were those fake news stories? Or you would have to tell me that. Like the man at the Mattapan bus station, when I said, is this one of the free buses? He goes, I don't know anything about free buses. Okay. Because on the news they told us there was so many bus lines that were going to be free. Is that not true? Because there is people that make up fake news and then hope that that becomes a reality. But I'm pretty, didn't your mayor say that there was going to be? Okay, so maybe that's just not one of them. Okay. Right, like that, it's obviously a complete state of lawlessness. It's obviously a complete state of lawlessness where everything is just every individual person's compliance, because it's too much of a danger for police officers to be trying to enforce the laws with people that are that psychopathically deranged and aggressive. So it's all about compliance. Okay, so um, in terms of just, there's a population of people, and not all of them are my species, that are just trying to avoid and sort of navigate around another population of people that are completely psychopathically deranged and insane. Okay, and demand money and all this stuff. And they keep saying there's money, and they keep trying to, a lot of them keep trying to interact with us, and they get aggressive. Okay. They demand payment for things. Sometimes that's not even real. Like the people themselves that are asking for money don't even pay a mortgage or a rent. Okay, so that's why people would question, like, in case other people didn't know that, and they were like, "What are you talking about?" Because people are doing that. So, whenever the thing about the hair color is sort of like not that important. You just, I think you just get more annoyed than anything else. It's like a frustration, like anything else, because you're being held a prisoner. Yeah, it's just everything that I've had to tolerate that's happened to me over the course of 11 years. As weird as that sounds, you just go. You could have someone like I don't even think January 2021 was meaningless, really. I mean, come on. But you could have someone just snap over, right? Because it's just that, and everybody knows it. All of these people that are like, that act like a shock and they talk like there's still sort of like a system. They know that's what's going on. That's why they're so sick. They're so sick with psychopathy, right? Where that's part of what some of them do, where they act all uppity, and because now they're sort of regular people, they're not deranged psychopaths. Now that's their idea of regular. That's their idea of being rich or being powerful or important or in charge. And they're homeowners and this and that, and they have all the spending cash, and you just go. That's why some of the behaviors you can see are sort of twisted versions of their perceptions of what we were doing. So, like, if you start getting that thing, doodle bops, if you know you Exodus 20, you believe in equality, try to hold it together, right? He's explaining to you their things that they're doing. Not you're in a lesson, not you're in a karma lesson. Okay. It's just psychopaths remember everything. Okay. They envy people, they pinpoint focus on everything they do, and they remember everything. And it's like a child mimicking someone on the phone. So now that they have cash and houses and they're in charge and this and that, they just start mocking back their perceptions. And you can see how distorted the process of their brain storage is. And it affects everything, their entire life, how they process everything. Because the way it was stored is all mixed up. Okay, like it, it's weird because it is a child's mind, but it's almost like a bad seed child. They're not like innocent children like we are. And we just store everything regular. And like, you know how we get the disassociations, Michelle from the shelter, like about the Section 8, and then you have to go look. They give people Section 8s with no income. So I don't know if you're just like, I don't know her either. I don't know if she is like upset because she feels I'm completely disassociated and I've like betrayed her, or she's like one of those Nazis that sort of like, do you understand what I'm saying? If she knows what I'm talking about, she wouldn't get offended. They do that too, where I explained they'll pretend they're a prisoner or something, and then some of the weird stuff that Diane woman was doing. That's why I started going, right, do you work here? Okay. Did you ever work here? People that use more than one name and stuff, watch out for that. Okay, because those are people that could be depersonalized Nazis as their brain is shrinking. Um, and they're not actually prisoners, they're jailers. But anyways, um, when they get into that weird stuff where they're teaching you psychopathy, right? Where they are going to teach you to break free from morality and all the secret knowledge and all that stuff, like I was talking about. Because everybody's an actor and no one actually believes in that morality and all that. And that makes you a better person and you're part of the group. And that's like really not much brain matter left. So, anyways, when we have the disassociations that are sort of like innocent like this, and then they get madder because they're just trying to be psychopaths and we don't even know it. We keep trying to reason some way, like Karen said, like it's all a lesson, we're in a karma and all this stuff. No. um it- right, it's like he's explaining to you what their thinking is. Okay, so when they do this weird stuff and then you remember like something that was going on with you, it's because he's explaining to you that they actually, that affected them that much and they stored it in their mind, and they stored it like in a mean way like that. Like they actually perceived it as the event was going on. They perceived it as you were purposely being like a jerk or something. You were showing off, and you think you're better than everyone, and you're purposely rubbing it in their face that you have something they don't have and stuff. So that's why it becomes regurgitated back at us, and you just go, and you that's a disassociation. I'm explaining it to you, Karen, where you start thinking that you're in a karma. It's not that. Okay, it's just it's God's way of explaining a person's perversion in their head. Okay, God doesn't do all that weird thing where you're like, how could you be constantly being judged if you Exodus 20? I don't even think he's judging them. Why would he be judging us? Okay, so try to hold it together. Or don't keep asking him why they're so bleeped up. Because he's telling you. And then you're making up a thing and you're paranoid in a sense. And you're like, because it's almost like it's a very shocking mental disorder. You don't want to believe that people are that sick. So anyways, like we're still doing that, as like the brain is constantly trying to cope with a bombardment of insanity at you. It's constantly trying to cope and sort that and maintain some sort of uh, thing day to day to day, like I said. So um, that can become very, very, that can, hopefully, it's almighty, but yeah, you can become way too subservient thinking that. Okay, so it's important for people. That's how you end up with just naked and starved, and you won't even use a SNAP card. I did it for 8 months, but I wasn't naked and starved. And because I wasn't, then they attacked me in the house and stole all my belongings. Then they attacked me at the hotel and stole all those new belongings. Right? You just go, whoa, okay, all right. Like I said, there was that Angela woman that I don't even like her, and they did it to her at least 2 times while I was there that I saw them doing it. They would not stop stealing her clothes. They actually made up a complete lie that they were going to store her stuff in that shed. And then when she came back from her suspension, the shit was gone. Pardon my French. They're just completely deranged and insane. So I knew something was wrong when I first got there in 2012 because of my laptop. I remember that specifically. Right. And you just go. And then, of course, some druggie was there to take a $1,200 laptop for $20 so I could have a place to sleep. It's just unfortunate that people are like that. Well, I'm sure he's just died from drug use. Uh, okay, so like I mentioned on the CNN with Jill Biden, you can see that she's making up an excuse to touch the woman. She actually went like this. Okay, that's like that guy at Walmart. Needs to see my receipt as he's trying to actually touch me. You need to see my receipt. You just saw me at the self checkout. And he goes, because you have that. And it was peanuts and a jug of water. My hands are God. That Danny guy with the little arms. Yeah. He goes, well, because my big bosses are here, like he's completely a primate with a melting brain. He's nice enough. He's always been nice to me, but you're just like, whoa, what the hell are you doing? Why are you trying to touch me? No, you don't touch me. Nope. So, anyways, um, like I said, that was going on at the hotel too. I had one incident at Stop and Shop in Dedham. Everything's been fine. Um, I think she did. I heard her call it. She might have called me, hon, and I heard her doing it to other people. She seems a nice person. That's just a thing. Um, you tolerate it, go to a different store for a while, stuff like that. It has to do with the pecking order, right? It's like a dominance, and it's a food store and stuff. So it's just like, yeah, you just, um, there's people at the shelter too that won't stop doing it, the residents, right? And I explained some of that. It's like they're all going to do it until I'm just worn out. And then that person tells themselves in their mind that they are the person that I will be dominated by because I didn't tell them to stop calling me, hun. Yeah, it becomes grotesque and disgusting. That Marge person kept doing it. She's the one that gave me the dude's coat, and she kept telling me to take my hat off, and she didn't recognize me with my hat on and stuff. And you're just like, you are gone. You're scary. Um, it's one of those things where I told you they will make up that they were previous, you were previous. They know who you are. You just don't recognize them. You don't know them yet. You're not awake, and all this other garbage. Right? 2011. This is a week to everyone. There's no anyone's going to wake up. No, nope. It's just some of that's a denial, um, because you could realize that the person you're living with is completely a primate and psychopathic, and you don't want to accept it. So you keep telling yourself that something hasn't happened to that they're going to get it. I understand it because I did that for years when I first started. Was told to be into I had to do this in 2011 for years. I'm like, it's just this thing, it's just this thing, this thing, this thing. 2011, just they all made their choice, and their whole entire lives are an act. Um, when you don't discuss things, you don't know that. When you don't have those types of discussions with people, you don't know that. I guess in hindsight, it shouldn't be that surprising with Alfred because he told me that he was very selfish. That's a presentation that you're at least a sociopath, if not a psychopath. That Phil guy told me the same thing. People usually confess and tell me things. Right. I've had uh, Cynthia explained to me a lot about herself when years and years and years ago. Um, it's definite psychopathy. Uh, anyways, just all of it, the running thoughts, the paranoid thinking. Um, she's always sort of presented to me usually what's going on with her uh, from when we were young. So I went over some of it with James. It must have been around 2009. I had a lot of things going on in my life during that time. Um, some people are not good about reciprocal. Uh, right. Just because someone wants a marital divorce doesn't mean that they've lost their mind and they can't be your person that you go to in terms of sanity or rationale. Uh, I went over a whole bunch of that it has to do with opening up a can of worms about their parents and their divorce. I'm not Barbara Kent, and Al's not Tom Kent. And clearly, a bunch of them, they don't have really good memory like I do. So, in the way that they're storing it is distorted. Not that mine isn't distorted either, but it's almost like I stored it more like an adult, and it's just like, yeah. She does get that part. She said that recently about her, that she's always been sick. So she knows that it's not a new thing. Whereas Candy was like, I don't know who this is. She's not my mother anymore. Candy. I explained it. What was that? 1980 maybe? When I went downstairs and she goes, in God we trust. And then it just freaked me right the hell out. And I said, what did you say? And she goes, what are you doing down here? That's not what you said. So you were clearly in a psychosis. That is not what you said. I don't have auditory hallucinations. It was almost like I was a psychiatrist at 8, 9 years old. Like, what is this? I know I went to speech, so that was probably a good indicator to her and the other adults to stay away from me once you're in speech at school, because they know that you're meeting with people. You're in speech, so you're talking to guidance counselors and stuff. So, well, I explained that. It doesn't mean something about Karen either. And she's been really good about everything. She clearly wants to go through a process of with her and her children. Maybe her mother too, sister. Um, about Michael, what did she say it was? Expressive speech disorder or something like that. I forgot it now. I went over that, but it may not have even been her doing it. It's like it could be just a presentation of. It could be the way that he stored the stuff too in his mind, right? That's why it's so overt like that. It's so sort of like out there and obvious where you go, what just happened? Because that's God amplifies it sometimes. So you go, okay, so it's just sort of like a difficulty that I can understand it to an extent because I remember with my daughter that she seemed to really like him. But I don't think I was doing that with her. Right. I don't know if it's her thoughts and ideas about fathers and stuff is probably different because her parents didn't divorce. Her father passed away, passed on. Whereas my parents were divorced and I didn't want a relationship with them, but I understood the importance of having a father. So I think I was probably more happy that there was a father present. Like back then, I was still sort of like thinking that this was like a good choice I wouldn't make that choice now. But back then, I thought that. Right. So hopefully I didn't do that. She had apparently issues with her mother in a previous too. So that could have something to do with it. I just felt that she was independent. That's your first, so you don't really know how they're. Other than she seemed like a wicked tomboy, like she never wanted to have her hair up or anything. That was a little bit frustrating. And it was always long and all over the place. She sort of was probably more like I was sort of like skit acting like me. That's probably more like her. Like, is it? Like, that's totally sort of like how she was, yeah. Even her the first pediatrician that I had, I think it was Ocala. Is it Ocala? No. Maybe Ocoee. It's Orlando because at first we lived in the city of Orlando. But anyways, she said that one day. She goes, because she was just all over. She's like a boy. Yeah. No, she's not like a boy. I wouldn't say that like that. But she probably meant because she had so much energy and stuff. Yeah. Uh, wicked laissez-faire. Yeah, I think that pediatrician was too. Because I'm pretty sure she's the one who said something about was she the one that said that her kid was in the crib till he was 4 years old or something? Because that's how I was too. Once they can climb out of it, then you got to take them out of it so they don't hurt themselves. They learn to climb out of them. You can lower the thing down, and then they just start climbing right out of it. Right. We just put them in a toddler bed or something. Some people get terrified at that point, by the way, because they felt that crib was a cage. I never treated it like a cage. So, yeah, they always listened. They were tired by that time because they didn't take naps anyway. She stopped taking naps when I had the second one because they don't want to take a nap because there's another kid there. Right. I also read somewhere that children that are highly intelligent actually sleep less, as long as they're not manic. But I sort of preferred being awake all day, and then they slept, and they'd sleep for 12 hours a night. Anyways, 7:36. I got ice that's probably completely melted over there in the chair. I realized I had another liter of water, so that's good news. But I'm going to have to go out tomorrow. I got to get soda and water. That's about it. Because I went to the food pantry, which is awesome. It's a really good resource. They're being wicked cool and nice about it, too, because clearly this is Sprague Street. If they ever asked me, I'd go at Sprague Street. I explained it. It basically goes Dedham, and then there's like 3 or 4 houses here. And then just Dedham again. Right. It's like some weird phenomenon, because when I was growing up, that's the manor down there, and I used to hang out down there. That's Dedham right there. You could throw a stone to Dedham. It's like I said, there's like 3 or 4 houses where this is technically not Dedham. It's like Hyde Park or Boston. And then it's Dedham again. It's a whole nother county too. You go like that, you're in Norfolk County, and you go like this. I was like, you could make up a thing that these like gangster houses. That's why that was done. They like what do they call it? Redistrict. So that this is the other thing. This could be the reason why they did it. Because I think when you used to work for the state, that you were supposed to live in a certain thing. Because I thought she said that when they bought that house. I thought she said Tom Kent told her that because he was a state auditor, that you had to be within the limits or something. Yeah, believe it or not, that you had to live in a certain place. It could have something to do with schooling too. Taxes. The taxes might be higher for Dedham than here. Could be any number of things. But I was making up that you could be, these are like gangster houses. So you're like in Dedham, and you're like, well, you could probably be a cop. That was the other thing. You could probably be a cop and work in Dedham or something, because it's not a conflict. I know it's like you grow up in the manor and then you move 3 houses down, and now it's not a conflict. That's where I hung around when I was young. The manor in Riverdale. Well, I mean, it was all over the place, I guess. I used to have friends down the projects down Veterans Road when I was young. Remember those days? You're not supposed to go there. And I don't know, at least that's how she was. Yeah, I mean, clearly there's a lot of people that go to the food pantry that aren't from here. I mean, if they ever wanted to learn this, I'm sure there's people that volunteer there that know a heck of a lot more about Dedham than I do. Because there's people that used to be at least highly involved in that church, the First Church, they call it. Yeah, those people would, yeah, no, I'm definitely no Dedham expert, but that was the house there that I was born at Beth Israel Hospital, and that's the house I grew up in. Flanagan Place. Yeah, you just go, okay, so what was the point of that? It wasn't to help an 88-year-old woman. Okay. Because you didn't just fix up her house and then give her her house back. And it wasn't to help me, because you saw what happened to me. So I think everybody gets it by now, and it's a little bit scary, but there's clearly got to be a way to control these people. Okay, so I explained some ways to do it is to start just buying up houses. Okay, and then those people are technically, I guess, the homeowners. I don't know how to do it. It's just, it's such a difficult thing because, like I said before, you have people that are trying to hold people prisoner in houses and still telling them there's mortgages and rents and bills. So that's an issue too. Um, I think if the public, if you do like you did before, the whole public knows that nobody has any of those things, then you just ignore them. And clearly you can go, there is none of that. There is none of that. And the other thing too is if there was none of that, people wouldn't be forced to have to live with people. They'd go, if you're going to keep talking like that, I'm leaving. I'm not doing this again. Stuff like that. You just go, I'm not doing this again. I can just move. And I'm not just talking about me, it's about everyone. You go, I'm there's a place available right there, I'm going. So and so contacted me from Quincy or Florida or whatever, so I'm going there. Right. So if you decide, if other people decide to help you out, don't start telling them there's this, that, and the other bills, because you got to stop doing that. Stuff like that. So, well, I don't want people to get mad at me, but if I had to make up something, I would hope that um, there's some sort of agreement where Michael is out in Seattle with Cameron's sister because they're both supposed to be staying away from something. And then maybe the grandmother decided to go out there. And then she doesn't have to worry about the beach and all of that. And then it's pretty easy if she decides to change her mind and go to that thing that they wanted to do in Hawaii because it's right there. Um, and that's about it. Hopefully, the sister, if unless she needs to take a break too, is still around, or someone, because she hasn't answered me on Facebook. So, and I don't want to keep harassing her. Uh, right. Uh, I thought I saw her with AJ. Maybe it wasn't AJ. Right. So, I mean, I was outside for 8 weeks at any time. I mean, I shouldn't say that because I had told her to stay away from me, but I know I probably sound dysfunctional too on the Facebook because I'm like, I'm deleting my Facebook page. I actually did because I tried to open up another one, Barry Kent Schizophrenia, and they won't let me. It was on for about what, a day, and then they did that thing where I have to have a text code to a phone to have it. Right. It's all done on purpose because they know I don't have a cell phone. Because other things you can have a code called to a landline, so they're doing it on purpose. Well, because the sister has substance use issues too. It just means that sometimes you have to be completely away from people that, I mean, if you've tried to get well so many times, only she knows. Only she knows that. If there's something going on that's triggering it, I don't even like that word. If there's money exchanges, whatever it is, she knows she's using her mother as an excuse because there's some sort of a history there, all of those things. Right. It just becomes, if she realizes that she's actually negatively affecting her mother now, stuff like that. Right. It's just sometimes people, it doesn't mean they're not going to have a relationship. Every family is different, but it's just, right, some sort of a break because for a whole year I was gone and I come back and they're still doing the same thing. I can't speak anything for the sister because she didn't invite me into her life. Right. I'm resisting having to get up. I put the thing, I didn't move it over there this time. I moved the mattress on top of this because I think the bed is some kind of an issue, but I really don't think that's what's totally causing my problem. It's just from so much walking. This is how I know, because it happened to me when I was at the other house and I had a regular bed. And it was when I first started doing 138, and I was only doing it twice a week, and it happened to me. It feels like your lower back is like gonna crack like this. It's probably because the muscles are so tight that it's doing this or something. It almost feels like a sciatica, yeah. So I'm trying different things, and it really usually it's kind of worse today, and I didn't walk. It seems worse in the morning. Yeah, like it's definitely worse in the morning, and then like when I'm trying to just stand in one spot, if I'm moving around, it's not really bothering me. And when I take the walk, I'm fine. I cruise the whole walk, and then the rest of the day, I'm fine. I'm laying with my bad posture in the bed, but it's today. It actually is kind of bothering me a little bit, but it's not. It feels almost kind of just like tightness and not pain right at the moment. Um, like I'm doing my bad posture laying in a bed with the laptop and stuff, but it's not really. And then I do this other thing where I twist and bend my legs so the laptop is like this, like I twist like that, and I don't know if that's probably contributing to it. And then I've had sciatica before a couple of times, and it's horrifyingly painful. This, honestly, I really think it's the glutes, because I can like before this happened, I could tell that I was doing a number on my lower body. I could tell it was like first it was like um, I think like the side glutes, and then I could tell that my what you're calling your underbutt was all like tight and sore. That's why I think it's that. It's from the constant pounding, walking, and going up. There's not really. It's weird because I was doing more steeper hills in Quincy, but it wasn't for such a long period of time like there is. I'm like power walking on that thing because I'm doing it in less than 2 hours now. Sometimes I noticed I'm walking faster. That's why I tried to start jogging, and then they interrupted me. That's probably why, because I have wicked long, wide, I think they're called um, strides. I probably, in my mind, I'm probably like a Jack Russell Terrier, where I think I'm 6'5" or something. I have very sort of like long strides in my walk. That's why my hamstrings look like that. It's the way that I walk. Anyways, so I think it's from that. And that's probably why today it actually hurt worse, even though I put this thing on the floor. I guess I could try just laying directly on the floor and not even using this foam thing. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this probably doesn't help, but I don't think it's totally from the bed. I think it's a whole combination of things that just, I blew out my entire, what do they call it, your whole glute system. My hamstrings are used to it, so I don't have any of that. So in the past, I used to get like hamstring cramps and stuff. Like I explained some of it. Like if you have a window in front of a bed in front of a window, and then you have to kneel on the thing to like all of a sudden my hamstrings would like lock up, but I don't have that, and I'm not carrying stuff like I used to. I used to have much more defined legs because I was carrying stuff all the time carrying stuff, heavy stuff. Anyways, back in the days of like team with the whole Shawn Mendes and stuff, with those pants and everything. Oh, they looked pretty good in 2020. When I didn't even know. I didn't even know I show up there from the hellish thing I explained already. In the cutoff shorts that were my daughter's. Like 16 years old, totally unshaven, because remember I couldn't even get into a bathroom to shave. And then after I shaved and stuff, once I saw myself, my legs in the mirror and stuff, I went, "What the hell?" Yeah, it went up, especially if I was walking around with the backpack with shorts on. People probably like, "What?" I could see people attacking me for that. And I had the socks, like I was a soccer player, pulled up on my calves like halfway. So it like emphasizes your awesome calves. I did. I probably look like some people were saying that to me and I was getting mad. I thought it was just like weird dudes. They're like, oh yeah, and then you're down at the field working out. It's like I don't know who you're talking about, but that's not me. No. I just got here from Dedham, Massachusetts. I've never been to the effing fields. I don't know who it was, whoever you are, that was down working out at the fields. They apparently thought I was you. So that's either an insult or a compliment to you. If you're like 20 years younger than me, yeah, you're probably like, really? Oh, God. It is. It's like Jane Fonda. It's like I explained. If you're young and you're like, I don't understand this, it's because of my age, right? And just this land piece, people are not in good shape at all. They have not held it together through the years, right? So that's why. That's why it's funny to me and probably other old people. Just Delia Duffy attacking me in the library lawn and stuff. You just go, Delia, I'm 50 years old. I mean, for real. It's like we're in grumpier old men. Give it a rest. You you chose to do what you did with your life, and you're just not me. Right? It's just Jen doesn't even care about any of that. I don't know why you're attacking me, other than it has nothing to do with Jen. Jen's an excuse. I mean, yeah, drinking alcohol, that is going to wreak havoc with your sugar levels, as you call it, sugar levels, not glucose. Okay, that's why it's your genetics, your lifestyle, and your drinking. That's what it is. And your age. I mean, I'm sorry, but you're at least 10 years older than me. I don't know what you've been telling Jen because she thinks you're in your 50s. There's no way in hell you're in your 50s. Some sort of an ID because you've got to be like 65 years old. Right? There's not a way on earth that you're 50 something. Karen Corbett is like 57 years old. There's no way that you're the same age as her. Right? And you're having cognitive problems and whatever it is you, because Jen I think Jen actually said something like 51 or 54. There's not a way in hell that you're 54 years old. No. So I don't know why you're lying. I think women should brag, right? You should brag like Karen does. That's why Karen does, I'm sure, because she looks around going, whoa, maybe people have been wicked mean to her. Is that her daughter? I know, like I can hear her. Yeah, probably. Probably. That can make someone skittish and be more sort of standoffish and mean, especially when obviously your son is extremely hot. Right? All you have to do is find me another muse. No offense to him, but that's how it works. Yeah, not show up and go. All he's doing is drinking, because then you're gonna go, oh, so he doesn't have a girlfriend, right? You saw how fast. No, shouldn't say no one, but who? Just Alex. Just who? It's no offense to him either, but that's life. That's a healthy attitude because if the person, right, you're showing up with Allie like do, and you don't care what's even going on with me on the ground, um, at the library. I don't expect you to save me, but right, that's healthy. Like, okay, clearly you're some sort of adopted son. What's this? Okay. Well, that's something to think about because some people. like this whole Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing. Some of it is definitely humorous, but I don't know. I'm sort of, what do I think of it? I'm sort of, there's so much, I guess, going on with me in terms of my time slots every day that I haven't had a need to keep going to it, but it's always there. I started watching some of it. Um, I think that it's entertaining and funny, yes. Some of it's definitely helpful. I think being able to laugh at yourself is good. As long as it's sort of like that, um, like in a historical context, like you're in recovery or something, and you can go, yeah, wow, this is right, and not sort of laugh and go, see, that's what people, how people are. Other people are like us, and no, that's, I don't think that's the intent of the entire trial. You're supposed to laugh at it because it's so dysfunctional. And you go, some of it's disturbing, some of it's funny, but you just go, this is so dysfunctional. Like, right. Um, so if it sounds like your life, then you should know that. It doesn't mean that yeah, I don't know what the right words are. Um, there's so much better that you could have in your life. Let's put it that way. There's so much better that you can have in your life if you had the patience to stop trying to have relationships before you're ready. Right. It's sort of almost like Jen. Uh, when people try to have a relationship in early recovery, because it's part of a sickness. Like you realize once you're not using anymore that you're just messed up. Sometimes people have an underlying, okay, so it's that's a whole nother thing. But it's like you're wicked dysfunctional on top of the using. And a lot of the things are you use using as an excuse. You didn't do it because you were drunk, stuff like that. Um, that's not happening because you're hungover. Things like that, like things like cognitive decline, um, mania, uh, fights and things, why you keep going out with quote unquote losers, why you keep going out with cheaters and all of that is because you have dysfunction within yourself. So once you're not using anymore, you go, how the heck am I even doing this? How am I doing this? Like, what is this? What am I doing? Right. Um, Joanne got that part about the Jen thing. Hopefully, she wasn't just mimicking me and she really meant what she said. I think when it comes to Delia, she thought, this is my honest, I think that she thought by getting involved with Jen, she was acting like Lupus Mary. And that's a way to become, I go over your psychology, you're somehow accepted by me into some sort of a group. I don't even do that. I'm not a primate. That's the surefire way to become unfriended by me. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Just like Rebecca Donahue, I couldn't take it anymore. It doesn't even matter. Right? It's like, why are you involved with someone that I was involved with? I'm not understanding that. We're not friends. That's some sort of primate behavior. I don't know what Casey thinks about it, and that's not my business. I don't speak for her or tell her what she's supposed to think. Right? It's just, I've had people do that. They come up to me, so yeah, Jen, you're not Joanne. Okay. Right. You're not Joanne. This isn't how you become a friend of mine. Whoa. Yeah, so Alex. No, she didn't do that. Allie never talked to me about Alex. She never, I don't even think she said the word Alex in my presence. No. I don't know what that means. I don't know if they're still together, whatever. I don't know. But for him, I don't know what he thinks that means. That she never even uttered his name. Any of the times I was around her, did I hear her talking about him? Um, I think the I don't think this Ray thing, it was really kind of a real relationship for her either, because she mentioned something about don't tell the church that her and Ray are going out because they'll want them to get married. So at first I went, what is this? Like I thought, okay, well, she is Alex involved in the church and she thinks that he's going to find out about this. He's going to find out about this Ray guy because we all see you with him. So it might have not have been that, but it was like, that's probably where Lupus Mary got that she didn't think that Alex was that important to her. I didn't say, I don't even know if I said he was that important to her, but I predicted that she would immediately try to go back out with him as soon as he got out of prison. That's exactly what happened. Right. So I think that Lupus Mary was hoping that they would get back together. She has some sort of personal thing against Alex. Whatever that is, she has some sort of vendetta against him. So it's a little bit weird. Like, why would Kenny be good? Maybe this is coming from Alex. Why would Kenny be good, but Alex is Casey's ex too? So how is she? How is she figuring that? He would if he knows because him and I didn't talk about it either. The only person who told me anything about it was Lupus Mary. So he would probably say, "So you weren't trying to hit on me? You weren't trying to go out with me?" Okay. Right, because this thing about Kenny and Casey doesn't make any sense. Did Casey say that Alex was a bastard or something? But Kenny's nice? I don't know what Casey thinks. It's only for like gossip, Us Weekly. I could see it, like, I can't be Casey's personality in mind, is what I'm saying. Like, but for me, it would start to be like Rebecca Donahue, and I'd start getting a little bit sort of like creeped out by it. Just I think someone told me she's going out with that other guy, Derek from the hotel. That's what someone told me. The one who asked for a night out for Christmas, and they asked him if he cleared it with his caseworker, and just the look on his face, like, I know. I'm just like, yeah, dude. These people are completely deranged. They're criminals. They're absolute criminals. Alyssa's there. She's got her hair colored at her friend's house. Lord knows she's in and out doing whatever the fuck she wants, just like Nate and Hunter. And uh, I don't think they're exactly like that with Sarah, but right, you just go in that other one. That's something Diane was talking about. And you just go, I have to clear it with a caseworker to have a night out for Christmas. And you have these children at a hotel and you're talking to them and they're hanging out with you. You people are, yeah, we're all just trying to maintain how criminally insane and disgusting you people are. Anyways, as the volunteers, clearly, because Casey's been around for years and years. So has Becca, right? It's Ian, Melissa. Like, it's all just people that are clearly God has forced us to. That is what we're doing. It's an assignment. And Lisa, you can tell just the way everybody talks that you're just like, okay, so um, I would think that she would be like, just do me a favor and never talk to this particular woman. I don't know how you're going to get around it. There really shouldn't be a reason that you're around each other. I just, there's something a little bit weird about her. Like, she's got to have some sort of a thing. Um, she, whatever happened with her and Alex, and now she's going out with Kenny. Um, yeah, it's a little bit. We had a little bit of that need him, but I mean, how old were we then? Like 19? Yeah, and there was obviously we were wicked dysfunctional, and um, three of us were living in the same house together. And then obviously there was using going on. I mean, Yeah, it's like maybe they have the mentality of that or something, and they're so wrapped up in the using where you just go. I didn't like any of it though. I wasn't friends with the females. I wasn't friends with the females. It was just one of those terrible things where you get with your ex's best friend because you're still trying to get back with your ex. It's just a really horrifying thing that people do. Sometimes you got to ask. You got to ask, right? I mean, I'm 50 years old. I've lived a life. It's just right when you're young, you can be really dysfunctional. That's why sometimes you, if you're wondering why sometimes I'm like, okay, what is this? Because it's like been there, done that at the t-shirt, right? It's just, okay, so what's this? Okay, why? Poor Stephen told me that Joe Kennedy, uh, he had a friend. It's a different Ken. No, it's a different Ken. The other Ken is like a tall, stocky redhead. This is a different Ken. That he made a platonic friendship with a man, and then Rebecca ended up having sex with him. I think that's what ended their relationship, from what I gathered. And Patrick told me there was weird stuff that went on with them too. Like they did like girlfriend boyfriend swapping. Him and what's her name, Erica, and Rebecca and Steven. Right, where you just go, this is a little bit too much now. Right, this is a little bit too much now with this. There's too much dysfunction in her, and there's no way that can be an adult marriage. That can't be an adult relationship. So, uh, I think he's probably got a lot of transference going on with probably his mother. It doesn't mean he has to hate her guts, but he doesn't have to be responsible for her. And sometimes caring about a person is, look, we're not going to talk anymore. He might have done that because I think she actually started to look a little bit better the last time I saw her. So he might have done that. He might have went, we're not talking anymore. If she, right, if she was getting really, really bad. So sometimes you can kind of put two and two together by things that people are telling you. It doesn't mean you're right. It's just, it wouldn't surprise me if that's what happened. Maybe, maybe it would all be speculation. Um, it could go either way. It could have been either Karen said that to Michael, or Michael said that to Karen, and then he left. Right? It might have been either way. Just nope. Right? It's like until you get some sort of help for yourself that's like permanent, we're not. Nope. Maybe that could happen too. Maybe the sister went. No, until you guys stop this, we're not having any contact anymore. She moved her stuff out of the room. He That's a little bit concerning to me that he said that they were having problems with their landlord. Is that because of the eviction ban and everything? That's a little bit concerning to me, but that's why I fly into rages sometimes. Well, it's too sort of wishy-washy, and it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe they weren't available when I went out there. He's clearly in another state, and if they're trying to do right, if they're trying to do separate things, then I thought I saw Melissa in the bathroom with their bags. I think Angela was in the library, and then there was like nobody. It was weird. I was like, all right, I can take the hint. Nobody wants to talk to me. they're probably like, it's summer's coming. We're not going back to that house with you now. Did they start telling everybody they were going to give them housing again? Because that's what someone told me, and I just went, oh my God. They're just pulling the same stuff again. Now it's you have to be in the shelter for 365 consecutive days. Trust me. And then what? At 300 days, they force you out of there. They make up an excuse to kick you out. No, just try to just chill or whatever, and right, honest to God, because that's what I do when I'm there. You just, yep. I guess you can make up that they're giving you a voucher or you're getting a section. You just start talking like that if you want, and then they go around getting mad, like you saw Luquette. They start flipping out. I'm not you. I am your worker. First, she did that with Diane. I am your worker, because they read the Facebook. They're insane, and then they hear us talking too. They listen to everything. We are their entire lives. And then it was, I don't work with you. Oh, really? I know. You just go. The only thing I don't like about Dan is the thing about the turkey necks. Was he talking sex stuff about Florida? I don't want to hear that. Yeah. I don't know. It just came up the other day. Maybe someone else thought he meant that. Because he kept talking about it, that she loves turkey necks, and gets her turkey necks, and she's always gnawing on turkey necks. I hope you're actually talking about turkey necks. Yeah, if we're going to be friends, I don't want to hear that stuff, especially when it's like code worded like that. That's gross. It's not gross like that. I just don't want to hear it. Right. It's not right. I'm not saying anything you're saying is gross. It's just I don't want to. That's inappropriate. Right. Like, seriously, I'm like a nun. And that's a friend of mine. That makes it even worse. It's not even like your girlfriend is some person I haven't met. Just, hey, I am the one who got rid of Diane. And then you told me you like older women. And you go, dude, like, no. Wait until she breaks up with you. If she breaks up with you, okay. Uh, Talk about counseling. Someone else will, Nathaniel or something, will have a conversation. What's this? No, no. Just wait till she breaks up with you. Yeah. I guess I'm being sort of hypocritical. It, yeah, I mean, definitely don't say that to someone who knows your girlfriend. Yeah, don't say that stuff to somebody who knows. But I think that you should really reevaluate if you really want her for a girlfriend. I expected him to go, oh, no, no. Right. Like, I expected him to go, no, I'm really like planning on staying with Florida. I'm fully happy with her, you know. Maybe he meant that, but he didn't say it like that. Like, he might have went like in Diane's defense because he likes her as a friend. He might have been like, well, it's not like I wouldn't go out with someone older or something. Like, maybe that's what he meant, but you need to not talk like that when you're in a relationship, because it's not going to be viewed like that by your girlfriend or her friends. Right. So you go, oh, no, no. I was trying to get him to propose because they were supposed to be going to the Howard Johnson's for Christmas or something. Was it thanks? It was Christmas or Christmas, New Year's Eve, right? I was trying to, because I was like, well, I don't really approve. I don't know if I said I don't approve of that, but I'm like old fashioned. Um, so, and I think I brought up Are you not asking her because you're afraid she's going to say no? Because clearly that would really alter your relationship, but maybe your relationship needs to be altered if you've been together that long and you're getting hotel rooms. Because I don't approve of that um, out of wedlock, right? It's just if you're at the point of hotel rooms and you've been together for 6 months, a year, or a year and a half, whatever it is, and then you're not proposing, right? Like maybe you should, and then if she says no, then you know that that's time to. It's like an ultimatum, Dan. Women do it all the time. I understand that you don't want to do it because it's almost like in the back of your mind, you know the person's going to say no. And now your whole delusion you made up for yourself is shattered. But if you're ever going to have a relationship, then you need it shattered and then take a little bit of time and then maybe you would go out with Diane. Right. So sometimes those things need to happen. Or she'll say yes, and then you'll have to immediately stop talking like that. Right. Once you're, I don't even think you should do it when you're courting, but once you're married, you're not, even if you're engaged to be married, the person said yes, you have a date, all this. You don't talk like that when people talk. You immediately go. Sometimes it might be sort of like weird for some people to stop talking out of that single context, right? It could be just completely innocent, right? And it's just, he's dumb. That's what I'm saying. Like, it could be innocent and he's just dumb. And so a friend explains it to him, like, dude, you can't respond like that when I'm talking to you. Yeah, I mean, if she ever heard you saying that, you're going to emotionally hurt her, right? Stop talking like you're single. So, anyways, an hour and 16 minutes.